Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 9 to 5 Fitness Podcast. This is episode 110.
110, wow.
I'm joined by Anabolic Gab. Gab, how are you? How did you sleep?
Mate, I am feeling really good in the new studio here, first episode in the new studio. And yes, I'm really good. We did boxing this morning, so I think my day is just going really well. Slept probably 6 hours, 45 minutes of good sleep. What about yourself, mate?
Yeah, mate, slept like a baby, straight up and into boxing this morning, which is huge. We have done 2 classes. We're pretty useless, but we're learning.
I'm feeling like Anthony after 2 classes, honestly.
AJ, it's cool learning a new thing though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's, throwing yourself in the deep end, being a bit vulnerable. We're not good at it, but I think you just accept that. And each lesson you get a bit better, put yourself out there.
I like the boxing's very like it doesn't matter who you are, like what gender you are or anything. Like getting into it feels very empowering, slowly learning, doesn't it?
It does. So you're wanting to do it multiple times a week, aren't you?
I think at least 3 times a week for me. I want to learn.
I feel like if I was to get in a street fight now, I'm slightly more adept to, throwing a few punches now. I feel like I got a bit more technique behind them.
I agree. I've heard that that's all fine and well, but the second you cop your first hit to the head, it's like the biggest wake up call ever.
It would be. I've had probably 100 messages from blokes thinking they're really funny. Literally the exact same thing, word for word. You couldn't knock the froth off a cappuccino. And there's some ones in there of them just trying so hard to roast me. And it's just, when someone tries too hard and it just sounds uncool when they're roasting you. Yeah. It's like someone wrote a whole paragraph about how shit I am.
Really?
It's like, bro, you're just trying so hard.
That's commitment.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
It's like, you're fucking worse than my Sunday afternoon after you've done that, punching through a wet paper bag. And mate, you've tried way too hard here.
It's all good, bruh. Just learning.
The best one I had was you couldn't fight a cold. That was pretty funny.
It's actually true when we get sick. I'm a big baby. Mate, to the listeners, it'd feel like we've been in the studio for the last 4 weeks, just showing up and knocking them off. But what actually happened, this is our first podcast in a month together.
It is, yeah. It's been a long time.
What happened?
Well, we went up to the Gold Coast to enjoy some sunshine on a nice little business trip, and we booked out a studio for a few hours and knocked off 4 what I thought absolute banger, really high value episodes, apart from one of them maybe. We didn't even have that much caffeine. We were just grinding, and we definitely crashed later in the day.
I don't think people realize doing 4 podcast episodes is the most draining thing ever. Doing 1 after this, I'll be absolutely drained. You just want to lie down and sleep.
It's that social fatigue, I think. If I'm not a particularly extroverted person, so I think from having these in-depth conversations, particularly when it's with a guest, someone new, a lot of those guests, we only met Trey, Hannah Orville and Bruce Wang for the first time there. So that was you have to be fully active in that conversation. So it is very draining, but we were on. It's our job. No complaints.
No complaints whatsoever. So we knocked off 4 in a row. The first, so who was it? What number was Bruce Wang? He was number 3, was he?
Well, we released his episode first, but he was 3rd in there. Yeah.
And that was that. It almost copped a little bit of flack, didn't it?
It did and I think that was from the regular listeners, which is understandable because it was completely different to any of the 106 episodes, 105 episodes we'd done before it. And I think most people understood this is a piss take. We're trying to do a funny here. But a lot of people went, what the hell is this, man?
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't what I signed up. This isn't what I paid for.
Yeah. All those monies you spent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt a little bit like that. Obviously, to be honest, we go into these podcasts without too much preparation necessarily, that kind of pre-plan just before it. But the Bruce Wang one was he's obviously got a character to uphold. That character's doing very well in regards to social media, and he's not about to break it just for us, is he? So just to have him on the podcast, dip into a bit of his reach.
And mate, let's face it, whatever some of the hate comments said, I think 5 of the reels got over 1 million views.
Yeah.
The episode just completely outperformed. You might cop a bit of flack, but I think if you don't cop that, then you're doing something wrong.
We're trying to grow. And, I've had people message us before, saying like change it up a little bit. Well, we did change it up for you, and you need to sometimes understand things from the business hat perspective.
And the other thing is we need to understand, I think we do understand, we're never going to please everyone, and that's just a part of the game we're in.
Trey's a different thinker, I thought. Nice guy, and like different kind of the way he thinks about things, and he's obviously on his grind and stuff. What do you think of that episode?
Mate, I thought it was so high value, and I think it was really important as well for like yours and I fan base and his fan base. It was good for us to actually link up and collaborate, and having these different perspectives, different characters. I thought it was just such a high value episode. Like listening back on it, I thought it was awesome, and like now we follow his content. It's fantastic. Like what they're doing in Bali, mate. Have you seen?
They're living it up.
That looks so cool with the whole front runner thing.
He's got a sick car as well. Hannah Orville as well. She was fantastic. That was her first podcast. She was a little bit nervous beforehand. Like took it like a champion.
Yeah, she was amazing.
Yeah.
That was honestly one of my most enjoyable chats, and I think that really affirms we need to get more females on the podcast, because probably just because of like what we're used to. We're used to just blokey conversations and whatnot, but I thought that was fantastic. Let us know what you guys thought of the Hannah Orville one too.
Yeah, and then Annabelle as well. She was fantastic. I think her first podcast as well.
Yeah.
Interesting to just like get a deep dive, because she's kind of like same kind of thing as us in terms of fitness content creators, but obviously she's a woman.
Yeah, and like that was Hannah Orville was more like the dating, gossipy, funny banter. But then Annabelle was like very high value. Still had plenty of banter in there as well, but definitely like if you're a female looking to get into the gym, or you find it a bit intimidating, or you're even looking for a female role model, I'd say Annabelle is right up there for you. She is just killing it with what she does.
100%. So anyway, thank you guys for listening to all 4 of those episodes. It was really fantastic. We were in the Gold Coast as well, obviously recording those. We love the Gold Coast.
Yeah, but I had a question here. Let me pull it up.
I just think like the Gold Coast is such like I know we've spoken about it before, but like that fitness lifestyle vibe is just incredible. And a lot of people are asking if we're going to move there.
Yeah, so we had Max. Fellas, what do you like and don't like about the Gold Coast?
Great question. I will start with positives. Obviously.
I like the weather. Just sun is up nice and early. The weather it's always sunny. Always getting vitamin D, always in a good mood.
Absolutely. I find it like everyone's out nice and early and like doing fitness things, healthy, outgoing.
Acai bowl,
get coffee. Everyone's up by like 4:30 in the morning, and they're out going for a walk or a run or lifting weights, and then out for coffee, and that's before the day's even started.
If you're up at 5 a.m, you've slept in.
Yeah, you're a loser.
What are you doing, mate?
Exactly. What else do you like about the Gold Coast? I mean, there's beautiful restaurants.
I was going to say beautiful women.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow. You go for one walk on Mermaid Beach and you've seen more beautiful women than you ever have collectively in any other day in your life.
Like beautiful, happy, just full of energy.
Beautiful on the inside too.
Incredible. Yeah. No, it is amazing. I think I saw a TikTok the other day from a couple of Americans that are in the Gold Coast. They're like, oh my God, Australians are so beautiful. It's like, you're getting a good drop in the Gold Coast, aren't you?
You are.
Restaurants
are good.
Restaurants are nice, yeah. Rickshaws. We didn't
go there this trip.
Oh, didn't go there.
We went
that
to a
trip.
different one. The other one next to it.
Oh, just above it.
Tropical, something like that.
Yeah, also nice.
And another good thing about the Gold Coast is there aren't as many pitfalls in terms of going out and all those sorts of demonic activities.
I'm sure you could find your way into them if you lived there.
You could. If you live in surfers.
Yeah, oh, crikey. What don't you like about the Gold Coast?
I don't know. It just gives this like a bit superficial vibe to me.
I agree. It's a little bit tacky is the vibe I get. I find it to be, I guess just like a little bit tacky. And I feel like if I lived there, in 4 months, I'd get pretty sick of it. And between surfers and, is it Burleigh?
Yeah.
It's kind of like no man's land.
Yeah.
But that is the Gold Coast.
It's a dead zone.
It's like a dead zone, but it's not. That's where people live.
What's actually beyond surfers and what's beyond Burleigh?
Don't know.
Can someone tell us? Like, what's actually beyond there?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's much more of the same, So I don't know. I think I would get sick of it pretty quick.
Yeah. I think that's probably the main downfall of Gold Coast. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Could you move there?
for 2 or 3 months. I think I couldn't do longer than that.
Maybe it's something you do in winter.
Yeah, definitely through winter to avoid that winter depression, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't know. It is good. But no, I don't know. Gold Coast was fun. We need to do more travelling.
Definitely. Let us know, guys, if there are any more cons of living in the Gold Coast.
Obviously, we mentioned at the start, but new studio. So this is our first episode in the new studio.
It is.
It's beautiful.
Mate, it is so nice. There's literally an amazing view. So grateful for this studio.
Yeah, we were taking a moment before saying we're very grateful for how far we've come. Like the podcast, 110 episodes in, we've both, developed our skills as podcasters. Obviously, in terms of social media and stuff, we've grown as well.
Yep.
We're thankful.
We are thankful. If you told me a year ago where our studio would be, I don't know if we should disclose exact locations, but I don't think the location gets any better than this. The view, the room. There's a few teething issues that we'll get through, but again, getting a bit deep here, but I think happiness is a choice, mate. And you can choose to say this and this could be better here, which is great. We can fix that, but also take a moment to just say, mate, we're not recording in a dingy garage anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly just happy with where we're at.
We've come so far, man. Do you remember some of those episodes back in the day? Hopefully we still have a fair few listeners from that. And if you've come 110 episodes with us, that's incredible. Thank you for that. But some of those recording setups is literally plug the mics in the corner of a garage and hold a conversation. I mean,
it did its job and we learnt our skills from that. And I think you almost shouldn't start off with the perfect environment. It's the same with our gym journey as well. We didn't start off in the best gym. We started in your literally garage as well. And I feel like you almost have to earn your right to get there.
You got to build your foundations first. And that goes for anything in life, really, especially the fitness world and stuff. I see so many people, and just to kind of take it off the topic a little bit, but so many people, they've decided they want to be a content creator and sell gym programs and so on. They're starting with the gym program. So, hey guys, I've got a 12-week program that you can buy, but they've got no followers or no engagement and so on.
It's not even that. It's just the desire to monetize their audience straight away, because they've probably seen Louie or Gab or Prime selling programs, but they didn't see the groundwork that went in before that, the amount of free advice, the amount of, and not that this was our grand plan to, do everything for free and then suck them in to get money. That was just to give them value essentially. But there's just so much more groundwork that needs to be done. I've seen people copying your athletic and running stuff, copying Prime stuff, literally copying word for word power building program. And programs are a very, very hard thing to sell unless you have a good relationship with your audience. And, they're not necessarily copying us. I think it's, the greatest form of flattery, but there is a lot of groundwork that has to be done to convert.
Yeah, and that free advice, you mentioned it before, we started, going back to when 9 to 5 started, going through COVID. Do you remember those days? Through COVID, and it was just video after video, just we'd do pump out 6 videos at a time, just all free advice, free. I don't reckon you can make even a chip in this industry without doing a year or two of just free advice and helping people for the sake of helping them and just out of the good of your heart.
And it's also that idea we keep linking back to. It's why are you doing this? Are you doing this just to sell programs? Because you're not going to have much luck if you're just shoving product down someone's throat. We're doing this because and I get reminded every time someone says how much we've helped them is actually positively impacting them and trying to change people and provide because we have this information and we want to communicate to people and actually impact them in a good way.
100%. No, it's really interesting. And, as a consumer, for those that are listening, see if you can spot that in social media and don't necessarily do anything about it. Don't go commenting on, saying anything like that. But you'll probably be able to spot it when someone's just trying to shove product down your throat and they haven't even done the groundwork early.
Yeah.
It kind of annoys me
and I just don't think that is an effective way to market. Yeah, when your sole purpose is just trying to make money.
It's really interesting. I've been, recently, mate, I'm feeling a little bit anxious. I couldn't figure out why. Yeah. And I reckon I've put my finger on it. It's because of the bloody weather.
Yeah.
Which is a really weird thing to think about. We've just come from some of the nicest weather, this summer, beautiful sun, 25 degrees plus, get a bit of a tan, feeling pretty lean and so on. And then I'm looking at the weather, today it's been pouring all day. The days are getting shorter, colder, and I'm wondering why I'm feeling so anxious. And it's definitely because of the season.
Maybe we should get some vitamin D tablets in the house, honestly.
It's honestly like, it's like, almost like you want like a solarium to stay like, not just for tanning, but just for like vitamin. Obviously we're not going to do that. Like, don't get a solarium, but it's almost to the point of like, how can I see sun? Because my mood is so much better when I have sun, like exponentially.
You're not wrong. It's a genuine fact in like how important light exposure is for regulating your hormones as a male, as a female as well. But like, I'm so pale right now, and definitely it's affecting like hormones, mood, everything like that.
Yeah, 100%. It's funny because I think it's something that like the rest of Australia don't really understand is like how much Melbourne is affected. Like, we're gonna have 3 months where it's like
Melbourne's
dark.
the worst out of in Australia.
Yeah. I mean, Tassie may be different.
Yeah, Tassie. Sydney's even better than where we are.
Yeah, Sydney just has like crazy lightning storms and stuff, but they're kind of cool.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
that's enough vitamin D if you get struck by lightning, isn't it?
Yeah, so
you'd be supercharged.
I don't know if you can survive that, mate. Topic 1 for today: training.
Yeah,
I want to talk about it.
Yep. What do you want to talk about?
I just want to know where you're at because like we haven't checked in a while.
We haven't. We have the new cable machine at home, and talking about gratitude, mate, having a commercial grade cable pulley system in your house is, the combinations are endless. Any
ridiculous.
sort of JPG, this or that, tricep, rear delt, lateral raise with all the attachments. Amazing. I'm so grateful for it.
What muscle group do you reckon is going to benefit the most from the cable machine?
Probably lats.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm doing lats every second day at this point, all sorts of different variations. There's this really good one for like lateral, the lateral head of the deltoid. It's like a cable Y raise, and you cross them over and you go like that, mate. It is incredible. Best contraction I've ever felt. Then like rear delts as well, all sorts of tricep, bicep stuff. It is... If I'm not the most jacked man in Australia in the next 6 months, then there's an issue with my work ethic.
Looks like you're getting there. Yeah, I reckon lats for me, or even biceps. Like, I just like hone in on them so much more now that like we got the cables.
Which bicep movements are you doing on there?
Just a good old bicep curl, but with like the lat pull down bar as like a, I don't know, I just love flogging it.
What about you get the unilateral and you go each handle, the double Ds, and you
so
go bang,
good.
bang.
Are you training for anything at the moment?
No comps coming up, but with powerlifting, and I'm sure you've been to a few powerlifting comps, honestly, I just find them cringe. I just think like whatever federation, and no hate to them, they just do a fantastic job at making them like unenjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
And it's just like way too try hard for such a simple sport. I think, and I don't know, it's just like, I don't know how to put this, but powerlifting is just kind of cringe when it's the only thing you train for, I reckon. I think, like, for me, I want to look aesthetic, but I also want to be strong. I want to be able to run with you and the boys. I want to be able to play sport where I can. I don't just want to be, good at squat, bench and deadlift and then call it a day.
Seems like the industry's done a really good job of staying like stuck in their tracks. Like, they're not going to change for anyone. It's a lot of old white guys running the show, and they're just like, they've done this for 100 years before, and they're not going to bloody change it now. So
I was an idea, like, obviously I think they're great markers for testing your strength, and it's cool if you got a good bench press, if you got a good squat. And this isn't my excuse to why I'm not as strong as some people, but like, I wanted to do, like a YouTube mock meet or something, hire out like a gym, like training day or something, get my coach coaching me, get like the most prevalent people in powerlifting Australia to like be the refs or compete in it or whatever, and just make like a super hype YouTube like movie out of it. And I think that would get, one, if you're talking about performance metrics, it'd get 1,000 times the views any sort of powerlifting federation would. It'd make people actually enjoy and be inspired to gym and test their own strength metrics. And I think it'd just do a whole lot more for the sport than what they're currently doing, which is, I don't know, I just don't really rate it.
yeah, it definitely feels, I mean, from the powerlifting comps I've been to obviously watch you, it's like you feel a little bit alienated if you're not waddling around in a zoot suit.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you have any ways like it'd be more enjoyable as a spectator?
I mean, just quicker in general.
Yeah.
Like a quicker turnover and stuff. Like, obviously you want to like recover and all of that, but like, it's such a long day.
It is.
Like, there's no way people are going to stay for the whole day if you want them to watch. But if you could compact that into like half a day or whatever, like that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's a big process.
Even if you're compromising on the like numbers you're lifting.
Yeah. I suppose if it's like a really big athlete you want to watch and you're like a super die-hard fan, it might be different. But I suppose that's just what I'm training for, is just to continue progressing in those lifts, but also be aesthetic, really pushing my cardio at the moment, like hopefully do more runs with you, cycling, boxing, just enjoying it really.
Yeah, just like being fit and healthy. There's something in that, isn't there?
Yeah.
I'm absolutely loving it. I'm training for a marathon.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, so I got my first one on the 6th of May. So I've got 2 marathons coming up.
You're doing 2 marathons?
I'm doing 2 marathons. So I got one on the 6th and then one on the 21st. So the one on the 6th is just going to be on my own. I'm sure like you'll be there cheering me on.
Yeah.
Like just along the beach.
6th of May?
Yep. So it's a Saturday. And I'm just like going to go just run it and see how fast I can do a marathon.
So that one isn't actual...
No, it's not like a proper...
It's just Louie running 42.2K.
Me running 42.2Ks with Strava on my watch and like kind of like a tester. Yeah. And a dream. And then 2 weeks after that, I will have the Great Ocean Road running race.
2 weeks after?
2 weeks after, yeah.
Okay.
So that's quite hilly and stuff. That's the reason I'm doing the one first, is I want to capitalize on the fitness I'm going to have.
And do it flat.
And do a flat one. And then after that, I'll have a hilly one. And then obviously I'll taper off. But the one with hills it's 44K. So it's not even the distance of an actual marathon. It's longer.
Mate, that sounds like hell.
Yeah, I know. I agree. And it's like 400 meters of elevation. And it's like super windy, not great conditions. So my reason is like I want to capitalize on the fitness I have and do a proper marathon and see how quick.
Good time.
Yeah, in a good time. And then the Great Ocean Road one's just going to be like a bit of fun, just there to get it done. Probably like 6-minute Ks kind of thing.
I'll get on my road bike and get like something like a sail on there, so you just coast and get no sort of wind resistance. We'll get another bloke with a fan on the behind you.
It's actually a good idea.
How funny would that be?
We'll organise this. Get some. Yeah.
Well, I'll drive like a rental van and you just run behind the van.
You can get have you seen the ones on the running track? They have like a car, and then behind the car is like this big dome set up which breaks wind, and it's like a dome like 5 meters around, and the runner runs inside.
We'll do it on the Calder Freeway or something. Just block off one lane.
Mate, but the world of running, it's a whole different world. Like marathon running and all that is, it's interesting. It's different. I find I'm getting a little bit like, because I'm so programmed at the moment, I'm like, the love is getting taken out of it.
Yeah.
Like every run I do, you know, if it's an easy run, if my heart rate's over 150 beats per minute, then like I got, 20 comments, brah, you got to bring the heart rate down, brah.
Mate.
Just like the most condescending comment from like a little...
And
like,
they think they're being helpful, but it's like the delivery. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's so condescending. Anyway, so like I'm finding the love for it a little bit is getting taken away. So I just had a meeting with my coach today and he's just like, all right, cool. Then like we'll bring back I get a run a week where I'm not even going to bring my phone or my watch, just like go out and enjoy it. Doesn't matter what your heart rate is, go as quick or as slow as you want. And just like...
What do you think about like the boxing side of things? Well, one, is there a transfer to the running cardiovascular side?
Probably not. It's more anaerobic boxing, I think. But... Yeah, he's so for me boxing. Yeah,
well, you're enjoying it. Is the main thing. The mental benefit.
Yeah, mental benefit. So he wants me doing it at least 3 times a week.
Yeah,
and just like I think that thing of learning a new skill is super important.
Yeah. It keeps the mind like engaged up.
Yeah.
Stops you from going crazy, I reckon.
And like, the people so we're at Chapel Street Boxing. It's like fantastic. It's, awesome people around. The coaches are awesome. It's like just a good area to be in. So that's where I want to go.
So you're running this marathon. What are like 3 the biggest tips that you're going to be like, I'm going to take this, I'm going to drink this, I'm going to run in this, or like your 3 main tactics or tips you're going to have?
Yeah. So, I mean, like obviously the pre-training is like super important. Everything I'm doing now and the lead up for that means everything. So, a lot of slow, long runs, and that's just building up my aerobic base, running at like 5:50, 6-minute pace for like 22 Ks. It is excruciating, to be honest, but you put a podcast in, you kind of get through all right. So number one is the lead up and the correct training, not overrunning or overtraining. The next thing is definitely like carbing up. So 2 days before, I'll be having like 700 grams of carbs. Like for the 2 days prior.
Big pasta.
Yeah, big pastas, a shit ton of salt.
Yeah.
Like literally spooning a gram of salt.
That's
Yeah, and as you know, for powerlifting and stuff. And then on the day, it's all about hydration. Like must be pissing clear before runs. Yeah. And my coach actually pulled me up on that. He said, all of your runs from now on, you need to be pissing clear. So it kind of takes out, other than anything under 5Ks, takes out me going for runs in the morning because like it starts to get a little bit dangerous, especially a marathon. Like you start getting into cardiac issues if you're not hydrated properly.
It was like what Chris Williamson said, the way he prepares for a podcast is he makes sure he's like, if it's an early morning when he's up 2.5 hours before and hydrates straight away to get the perfect inflection in his voice. Yeah. It's just like hydration.
It's a bit overkill, but we love that. Yeah. Like, I love that.
Going on that like long aerobic base building runs, I wonder if like road bike doing a 4-hour hills, like if there would be a transfer to like your running aerobic base for that.
Absolutely.
Like you go up to the Dandenongs and just do hills for 8 hours or something.
Not even hills, like even just a really long ride, you know, to Frankston and back or whatever.
I think the hills are what like keep you mentally, because if you're just doing flat, it's for 8, you couldn't do that for 8 hours unless you like it'd drive you insane. But if you're just out with a group, like I've done it plenty of times up at Falls Creek or the Dandenongs or something, where you're challenging yourself on hills constantly for like literally 7-8 hours. Yeah. You've done like 160 Ks, which is a huge effort. I wonder if that would be like, I've honestly got no idea, but I wonder if there would be like a good transfer to marathon.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see why not. Yeah. The only thing with like the marathon running is like I'm doing a lot to strengthen, well, you can't strengthen tendons, but like build up the muscles around my joints and all of that, like my calves. Yeah. So like that might be where you go wrong, but if you're pairing it with the right plyometrics and the right running training.
Maybe if you've done like your work for time on your feet and strengthening that, and you need something that's like less load on that, like you've already done your work for that, it could be an option.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know, the world of running's been like, it's incredible. It's been fun to dip into this year and like I've really stepped into it and keen to keep going. I'm keen to do like some cool shit, like an ultra marathon, like those Tough Mudder things, you know, like obstacle courses and stuff. So we'll get to that soon.
I'm keen to see it.
You had a question in your mailbag regarding footy and someone quitting footy. And I wanted to talk about that during the training segment of this podcast.
So we have Tom here. He says, does playing footy affect your gains in the gym? Contemplating taking a year off and footy to focus on bulking, but I don't want to if it isn't going to make any difference on my gains.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to ask why he's taking... If the reason he's taking the year off is to bulk, then, like, no. Like, you just need to eat more.
Yeah. You should be able to do that concurrently with footy.
Yeah, exactly.
I know it is difficult to, like, the amount of size you can put in footy, but, I mean, if you're not playing AFL, like, you should be able to...
I feel like... Yeah, exactly. Looking back, I wish, like, one piece of advice I could give myself, it was to just, like... be patient with bulking and stuff. Like, yeah, when you're, 18, 19, you want to put on as much size as humanly possible in the space of, in a short amount of time. But the size comes and the size stays. Like my size does not fluctuate anymore. I get a lot of questions. How do I retain muscle mass whilst doing all this running? Very easily, to be honest. Like I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And like your training doesn't have to change a whole lot once you get there. So for younger blokes who are trying to put on a lot of size, I'd really recommend like just trust the process, do a lean bulk.
Yeah.
Stay away from the dirty bulk of KFC, Maccas every day. Like just gradually increase, be in a slight surplus and just keep ticking away at it.
Yeah, I'd say like biggest thing for me is if you're from the ages of 16 to 20, just make sure you have the right things in place, like food. Your training's good, like you're eating like an absolute horse, so actually tracking what you eat, not just like eyeballing it. I'd say actually tracking it, and your genetics should, and like puberty and everything should allow for you to put on muscle mass. Don't stress about it too hard. Just if you're doing the right things in place, it's literally a science. Like you're going to get the results. So don't stress out about it too hard. You don't need to take a year off footy. Like just make sure you got the right things in place. Your training, your nutrition, keep doing footy and just replenish the calories you burn during footy with high quality carbohydrates, proteins.
Yeah.
And you'll be good to go and you'll be putting on that mass.
And like, we've always said like cardio can actually help you bulk because you generate an appetite. If you're eating, let's say 3,000 calories before footy and normally you can only eat 3,000 of that day. If you go to footy training, I bet you'll come back and easily be able to have another 1,000.
Yeah.
And you probably haven't burned that many.
Yeah, definitely. And even like the cardiovascular aspect, helping you like actually perform in the gym, you'll having a good respiratory and a high functioning cardiovascular system. You'll be recovering better. In between sets, you'll feel better. You'll be able to perform for longer. Just like generally, you will perform better in the gym.
Absolutely. It's great. Well, hopefully you don't quit footy, mate.
Yeah, don't quit, mate.
Don't.
I did have a question on that KFC trend. I want to find this.
What's it in regards to?
Oh, here we go. Well, it's from Ethan. And he goes,
Thanks, Ethan.
do you think it's possible to gain a god bod on a KFC only diet?
We both, our first jobs, working at KFC.
Yeah, shout out to the homies.
I'd say best thing we ever did, because we realised really fast that we got to hustle.
Got to keep working, mate. I don't want to end up here.
I'm not gonna
I saw people that were like 30 plus working, and shout out to them. They can do it. But I was 14 and I was like, fuck, mate, I got to get out of here.
Oh, mate, I'm going to work that hard to make sure I never end up here. So it's good to do that. I did remember, though, while working at KFC, the quality of chicken's actually really good.
It's actually not bad. It was like RSPCA approved. I don't know if they've changed anything. This was almost 10 years ago now. Don't know if they're now cooking mice and rats and cats and dogs in there, but it was good when we were there.
It was like top quality stuff.
I would eat it when I go home. Like I'd cook it and I'd eat it.
Yeah, same. Exactly.
Bloody good.
I don't know if you're going to get the God bod diet.
I think you might get a bit of acne and maybe you'll have really good skin, but I think you won't be feeling all that good. Just like there's a lot of oil, like it's fried in batter and whatnot. If you strictly from a macronutrient perspective, like you probably could get away with it. Often if I'm on the road, like drove up to go watch Tom play footy, on the way back went into KFC and I got just 2 zinger fillets, which is essentially just chicken breast.
Yeah, it's just the oil that comes with it, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like that's going to be pretty lean. So there are ways you could definitely do it. If you're getting a zinger box every day, then mate, just forget it. It's like the worst macronutrient profile. But if you're doing it smart, you probably could incorporate a bit of KFC into your weekly diet. But there is just going to be quite a large fat proponent to that you need to, or rather proportion to that you need to account for.
It is very interesting. I don't know. I think you want to factor in your mental health as well. I assume he means like the KFC diet, like full-time KFC.
Yeah, I don't reckon, mate.
It's just not going to work, King.
Mental health.
I mean, there's a lot of like tradies and stuff who eat like really bad food, but like they can, from an aesthetic perspective, they can, because they're burning 7,000 calories.
40,000 steps a day, mate. You can eat anything and look good.
You literally eat anything. Yeah, well, good luck, mate. Mate, we got to keep a roof over our head.
We do. So we're hitting you with the NTF plug.
Haven't done it for a while.
We literally haven't. So you guys better buy up big.
And listen.
Firstly, we have these really cool hoodies from Itch Pig. They made us these custom 9 to 5 ones. Like, complete surprise. We didn't even know they were coming.
They just sent them out to us.
Just sent them out. We had no plans to sell them whatsoever, but there's quite a bit of demand for them. So I don't know. Let us know if you guys do want to release them. The only thing with Itch Pig is like they are Australian made, super high quality garments. So like they're $240 for a hoodie, which is understandable because of like how high quality they are. But
they feel it.
We just don't think it's going to be like we think it's too expensive essentially, but we might be wrong. Let us know. But we do have like some really cool hoodies coming soon. They'll be ultra heavyweight along with an ultra heavyweight t-shirt. Really wicked design, podcast inspired.
Oh, it's a sick design. Professional designers.
It's going to have some of your favorite sayings, themes, just paying homage to the podcast in the first 100 episodes. So that'll be coming.
I'm going to get so G'd up if I see someone wearing that on a night out and stuff.
Keep your eyes peeled for the socials on that. We've done some really big drops lately. Obviously, the Sigma singlets, the compound shorts, the sales on that have just been astronomical. So thank you guys so much. I think we have some new colorways of the compound tank releasing and perhaps a few other items. So keep your eyes peeled on all the socials. We will continue to do them in a drop style. So make sure you guys are on the ball with that. I'm trying to think if we have anything else upcoming. Early mention here, but there will be. We know Greg Doucette has his Anabolic cookbook. I think we need a version for Australia because like those cookbooks have all these, get this and that from Walmart. You got your peanut butter with...
Yeah.
It's just like, mate, you can't get that in Australia. So I'm making like one that is inspired by what we eat as well as like what you can actually get in Australia. So keep your eyes peeled for that. In the meantime, if you don't have a meal plan, go get a meal plan. This will be a completely different kind of product. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Other than that, we have the Habit Tracker 2. if you do want to start getting on top of your life, staying accountable, there is everything on the website and you can get it, and you can use code podcast. And what will it do?
Give you 10% off and notify us that you came from the podcast, which means a lot.
And we'll give you a kiss.
And a huge kiss.
Cool.
It's beautiful. Great work, mate. You did really well there. Mate, I wanted to talk about the house, the culture. Culture. It's a big thing.
It is.
We've improved on the culture of recent. I think we're really growing.
And you know what? I think we were stuck in our tracks and like didn't realize until we actually realized. And we were just like, I don't know. I feel like you'll say it better than I do. Like, what do you think was wrong?
Yeah, well, so we live in a house of 4 guys, yeah? 3 of which have pretty big personalities. You, myself, and Tom. You, Tom, and I, all very close, best mates. Living together, you become very comfortable with people. And I think, you know, the month prior, we kind of slipped into this culture of just digging into each other, just relentlessly. Like, it was, honestly, it was pretty painful. I found myself, like, just avoiding home multiple times, just because you get home and then there's like a comment, you know, and it was stuff that was so like personal to all of us, you know, like it'd be a comment about social media, like, oh, that reel did shit, like, why'd you upload it? And it's like, fuck, it's not what I needed.
Because you're already thinking about it in your head.
Yeah, don't worry, I thought about it.
Yeah.
It's like when someone says to you, like, oh, you've got a pimple on your forehead, as if you didn't know it. Yeah. It's like, I know, you know, I trust me, I felt it birthing.
Yeah, far.
So, you know, we're bringing this up, like, we rectified it and things have been a lot better, haven't they?
Yeah, I think just generally there's more positive chat now, and I don't know why we slipped into it. I think it's also a very Australian thing to slip into that. Even when you like go through comment sections of Australian content, it's just people ripping each other to shreds. And I think we were almost slipping into that too. It's like we were like, we know we're all doing well, so it's like, well, how can we change it up a bit,
bring us down a few pegs?
No, I don't even think it was as like conscious as that. Like, I didn't go out consciously being like, how can I roast the shit out of these guys? That are just like, you slip into it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Prime would be the same. It's just like what he's used, like you're used to these cultures of, I don't even know.
Yeah, ripping in. Oh no, it was really good that we're conscious of it. I think it took a bit of us to go on a bit of a bender to talk about it, because that's how blokes are. But we did it in the end, and like things have been so much better. And I know, I guess like those passing comments for me were just like so annoying. You know, like everything was fucking negative. Like every comment, you do one thing, it's just like a negative comment follows. And, or like it was a joke, but it's like so not funny.
And the thing about those negative things, even if there was, you know, there might have been 8 positive things before it, the negative one outshadows it. And so maybe if you put it on paper, and it's like, it's particularly when it's like repeated negative things. Yeah,
I think a real bad one as well was like in the house, we fell into this thing of like getting really toxic about girls. So like if you have a girl over and you're not up at 6 a.m. the next morning, then it's like you're wasting your time.
So true. Yeah. And you did bring that up, and I think it was really good that you brought it up. Is like, we would make fun of Tom, for instance, because he, you know, his girlfriend was over a lot and he'd be up at 10 a.m. or whatever, and we would just like go to town on him, say, you
10 a.m. Bulge, like, you're not allowed to do that.
We literally nicknamed him 10 a.m. Bulge.
Yeah.
Which is not good. And I think he was quite affected by that too. And but then when the shoe's on the other foot and all of a sudden we've got a girl over and all you want to do is, it's cold out and all you want to do is cuddle under the covers. And
yeah, and like that's, you know, like Tom was probably working till 10 p.m. You know, and he works really late. So it's like he's making up time for it. And not that we need to be checking each other how much each other are working, mate. But it became really toxic that it's like, if you had a girl, it's like, no, I can't. Like a girl would message like, can I come over? It's like, nah.
No, because Tom will see the girl coming over and I'll get in trouble because I'm not up at 6 a.m.
Like if I'm not up at 6 a.m, babe, like I get evicted.
Oh, bro. That was so, and now it's glad to see it's changed.
Well, we spoke about it because like if you are happy mentally, like you're going to work a whole lot better, mate. If you actually are fucking happy in life and comfortable in your own house, believe it or not, surprise, surprise, you actually work a lot better.
It was like you got Chairman Mao walking down the hallways at our house stick. And he's going, hey, you're not up? And it's like all hours of the day. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mate, it was so bad. So, like, yeah, that was one thing I brought up while we were all a bit pissed. I was like, lads, I reckon this is getting a little bit toxic. Like, I don't want to bring anyone's dirty laundry into it, but like, poor Bella, Tom's girlfriend, like, the poor thing was just, she was probably like, why can't you just sleep in once during the week?
No, sorry, Bella. The lads are going to make fun of me.
We'll take the piss out of him. So, anyway, like, after we spoke about it and rectified it, things got a whole lot better. You were saying before, like, managing yourself, living with others is really important.
Yeah.
And I think it's something you all need to do.
Yeah, and it's like, for me, I can be like, it's my personality type. I'm very like business oriented, very direct. Sometimes I don't like the small chit chat before it. I just like to kind of get into it, and like that might mean like a passing comment is like fucking like not like that, but I might just say, I'll clean it up, and that might just be like the first thing I've said to you in 2 days or something. You might think this guy's just a dickhead, and it's like, whereas for me, I'm just like, that's the only thing I can focus on, and then like don't mean to sound like that. So a lot of it, and I'm definitely still not perfect yet. It's a work in progress, but like for me, I need to, yes, maybe I want a clean house, but you need to communicate that in a way that doesn't annoy people. What do you think about that?
Yeah, 100. Well, I mean, it all comes down to delivery often. Like, I think we all want the same thing at the end of the day, living in a clean house, living together and just being happy. So like, if you all understand the common grounds, then like we can all work towards that. But I think, there were definitely times where like you'd be like, instead of like saying, oh, hey, can someone clean this up? It was like, which fucking dickhead left this here?
And I swear that was brought on by Tom telling me early on, mate, if I do something wrong, can you pull me up and like roast the shit out of me? So I did it, and then I do it to Louie, and then Louie's like, mate, why are you ripping me to shreds for?
Yeah, I'll clean it up.
Yeah.
And like, exactly. So, I mean, it's like there was hate, and you know, for me, I definitely made plenty of comments and stuff, and it's like, when you have a group of three, you know, you, myself and Tom, two would gang up on one.
Oh, it's so true.
And then it's, for the one, it sucks.
And we've definitely taken turns. Everyone's been the victim.
Oh,
man. Yeah. Like there's been, me and you against Tom. There's been you and Tom against me, and then
you and Tom against me.
Yeah,
100%. It's and it's all part of it. Anyway, so like we are just we had some really good chats, and it was really good. I love living in our house,
and I still don't think we're perfect, but as everyone uses as a cop-out excuse, we're a work in progress.
We're a work in progress, and we've had this discussion before, and we've slipped back into it. So like, you know, on past prehistoric events or whatever, it's going to happen again, but we just need to be a little bit more reactive.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you're living in a share house, for those listening, I think, just being like really aware, you're not going to move out of home and just like be able to communicate to people how you talk to your brother or your sister or your parents. Like, you actually are living in almost a public space now. Yeah. And although your room is your room, outside and in the public areas, you need to be able to live with others, converse with others, and, you know, a good morning, a hello, like a goodbye, a good night, that shit goes a really long way.
Yeah, that's something I actually need to get better at.
And I don't think like you realize it until you're living in the situation. But if you don't do it and everyone's just walking around, you know, grunting at each other, then they're going to get homesick pretty quick, and you'll find they're spending a lot more time at the folks' house than in the share house.
Yeah, I need to actually incorporate that. The good morning.
We all do, mate.
It's important.
We're all a work in progress. But all in all, we've got like the most incredible house. And back to that gratitude thing, like, God, we're so thankful. Like, we're so lucky.
It's, you know, it's something I've been thinking about, is like, we won't have this house forever. One day we're going to have our families and wives and kids, and maybe we all end up on the same street in the house next to each other and go, how did we end up here?
I'll be making sure you get up early, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, Gab's got a missus.
Yeah. But it's like, we're not going to have this house forever. So it's like, these might be the glory days we're living in right now. Let's enjoy them and be grateful that we're all living for each other and not take it for granted, because it is a very unique position we're in at the moment.
I often think back about like when you and I first moved out together into that like little house in Brighton, here in Victoria, and like we were such babies, hey? Like, we've come such a long way. It is
crazy.
It's crazy to think, and I don't know. It was like we weren't babies in terms of ages of people. How old were we? 22.
22.
Yeah, which is like actually like my parents moved out at 18.
Yeah.
But like, you know, this day and age, it's pretty
tough.
Pretty young.
Yeah.
You got to try and pay rent and stuff, and I couldn't recommend it to anyone enough. Like, if you're thinking about it, you know, take the plunge, but also don't worry about money too much. Like we've always said it, we'll find a way.
That's the thing. There's all these people living at home still, and I don't want to pick a fight with the people who are just still living with mum and dad at 25, trying to save up all their pennies to. Yeah. It's just, mate, you need 25 is way too late. I'm sorry.
Out.
Like it was exchanged for me at 20. That did it for me. I probably should have moved out at 20. But you need to get some sort of independency. You can't have mum doing if you're 20.
And look, you'll get a year or two ahead or a couple of years ahead in terms of buying a house. And that's great. You'll get the likes on Facebook and the, pats on the backs for buying a house before 25. But, you need to move out.
Yeah, it's like you might be not even like a few months ahead in terms of finances, but how many years behind are you going to be in terms of personal development and maturity? And my reasoning behind it is whatever investment you make into your own development, you will have tenfold in the future with whatever big business decision we have coming up, because we've had that fire under our ass to go and make shit happen. You have a big sponsorship or something, or a big business deal, and there's the house there. There's a $10 million house.
Exactly.
Instead of the extra 30, 40 grand you've saved up by living under your parents' stairway for 3 extra years.
And just living with your parents. Exactly, mate. Couldn't have said it better myself. Well done. But I don't know. Yeah, good on us. We're improving, we're growing, and here's to many more years.
If you want more house chat, feel free to ask us questions as well, because it's kind of unique, I guess.
Yeah, we can break it right down. The cost of living. You've done that in a few YouTube videos as well, which are great. Go check it out. Anabolic Gab on YouTube. But like we can talk about it in podcasts and even give people tips and tricks on where to save money and how to save money.
Definitely.
Sponsors?
Yep, sponsors. We are, on that theme of gratitude, I'm very grateful for our sponsors, mate.
Me too.
I mean, Whoop, I feel so privileged to be sponsored by them. We have some of the big dogs in the industry sponsored by them. Not only are they just like an extremely prestigious brand, but their product is top tier. We both love them.
Oh, absolutely love them. They have these like pants, and you can slip the Whoop into the pants, because we had boxing this morning. So I couldn't wear it on my wrist. Obviously you got gloves on, you're like doing a lot of punching, and like, it's just as accurate. It's such a high level device. Not only is the device incredible, like the boxes that they send you that you can buy with it, like super good quality.
They're like skins.
They're honestly, like, I don't want to, compare too much, but it's like the Apple of fitness, like products almost, like really high quality premium.
Have you looked into the heart rate insights for when you're on your runs? So after you've done your run and it sings, have you looked at your Whoop heart rate insights?
Yeah, and it's a lot more accurate than any other monitor I have.
So apparently your standard sports watches, they measure heart rate with their particular technology 10 times a minute, but Whoop does it 100 times a minute, so it's just way more accurate. So from that front, I think it's just far superior. We don't want to... the product sells itself. Like, if you're not on it, then we understand it is a big investment.
I think like what speaks volumes as well as who's like aligned with the brand. Obviously like us three, but also like Stephen Bartlett, like
Mike Thurston.
Yeah, Mike Thurston. Like just some really top level, like awesome people, and they're not all athletes. I think it speaks volumes to it. Like they're not competing every day. Like they're podcasters. One's a bodybuilder and so
They've definitely got like top level NBA and NFL athletes on them too. Like they are backed by the top athletes, like the cream of the crop. But if you do want to get yourself a Whoop, you can actually look at the link in our bios on our Instagram. Louie has his affiliate link. I've got my affiliate link. You will get 1 month free. And whoever you like more, you can pick their link. And I think there's so many of you that have signed up on both of our links, so thank you so much for that. The next one we have is Manscaped, another one that I'm just very thankful for. We love Manscaped.
Like genuinely love Manscaped. And of course we love the products and all that, but as a brand, they've stuck by us for so long.
I'm pretty sure they're sponsoring the UFC now. Like that's so cool.
They're everywhere, but like they've been with us for so long now, and I love them with all my heart.
They were with us through those garage days, on our teeny tiny little deal. And now they're with us at the studio, and maybe at episode 1000, they'll be with us and we'll be getting paid $10 million each.
I hope they are. I use my lawnmower 4.0 every day. I use it on my pubes.
Yep.
Actually, I sometimes use it to cut my mow as well.
Yeah.
Which is a little weird.
I used it to shave my legs.
Yep.
And I know they've released a new beard trimmer. I don't know if it's out in Australia, but I'm trying to get Boss Man to send me one because I do have a bit of a beard at the moment and I want to be trimming it with the best in the business. So.
Yeah, well, you'd use Manscaped.
Exactly. And you guys can too with code NTF. That'll get you 20% off and free shipping.
How good's that, mate?
So good.
Do we have time for a mailbag?
Yeah, what was the last topic? Was it to do with like dating?
Oh, yeah, it was. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
My bad. Third topic. It's an NTF special.
We wanted to save the best till last. This is what you guys came for. It's a topic where we almost get ourselves cancelled every time, but we never do.
I don't think we get ourselves cancelled. What I think we do is shoot ourselves in the foot with girls.
I reckon we're both doing better than ever though at the moment, so let's just shoot it a bit more to freaking even out the playing field for the rest of these fellas.
Have you been on any nice dates lately?
None at all. Haven't touched one.
Yes, you have.
Spoken to one.
Yeah, you have. Just dates. I'm talking about dates. So where have you gone? What have you done?
Been on, mate. Far out. I have been on more dates in the past 4 weeks, than I ever have like this period. Almost every second day.
Really?
With this one lady.
Yep.
Getting quite creative. Once we went to the drive-thrus. Very, very cool. Fantastic. Recommend for any of you guys out there.
What was your setup of the car? Sitting in the back or the front?
So firstly, you get the Audi RS3 with the $7,500 Bang & Olufsen sound system upgrade. So you connect it to the radio and it sounds like the explosions are happening in your car. It's amazing. It's
Feels
a 4D cinema.
Feels like you're there. At the studio.
Yeah.
But you're not. You're in the back of the Audi RS3.
Yeah, you are.
Having a good cuddle and a snuggle.
Yeah, no dancing dooders.
No dancing dooders.
No.
Chewing on a bit of popcorn.
Yep, just popcorning it up.
That's the way. Enjoying the movie.
So you fold the seats down, you do the boot up, you get a doona, and underneath that you get a picnic rug of sorts. And then I only brought 2 pillows. You should probably bring more, I'd say.
Okay.
And you snuggle up. Bob's your uncle. You won't be snuggling with your uncle though. You'll be snuggling with a very pretty girl.
You might be snuggling with your uncle.
Yeah,
it might be.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. It's not incestual.
Fingers crossed, King.
Yeah, but there you go. That's a great date. Been on a few others, but that probably takes the cake.
Do you have any? What about just like chill dates? Have you done any of those
in the past 4 weeks?
Yeah. Like, going out, sitting on a park, like at a lookout.
So the girl I'm seeing at the moment, and I'm really big on this. The first date I took her on, mate, and it's my saying: act broke, stay rich.
Oh, mate, I love that.
I'm not rich yet, but if I keep acting broke, maybe one day I'll get rich.
Yeah, at least you'll be able to pay rent.
Yeah,
because you haven't spent it on a Nobu.
Yeah, and I've learned that the hard way.
You did.
So we just went for a walk. I picked her up, and we went for a walk. And you know what? We walked for bloody 3 or 4 hours because we just got on like a house on fire.
House on fire.
And the biggest investment I made on that date was 1, the petrol, 2, my time, the hourly rate.
Obviously you charge, but
yeah, $500 an hour.
Invoice.
3, I got some chicken from Red Rooster for about
for
$8.
Both of us?
She got a bite. She said she didn't want anything and stole half my chicken.
Sure enough, they always do.
And mate, that is so important because that means you actually get along with him. And if the girl wants some extravagant first date, then you've got the wrong bloke, to be honest. I think you're in it for the wrong reasons.
You've got the wrong bloke. Yeah, 100%. No, I totally agree. I think we've always been we haven't always, but we've been a big advocate of recent to not spend too much on the old first date. Mate,
how has the dating scene been for you? Any cool dates?
Look, it's been good, ups and downs.
Yeah, ebbs and flows.
Ebbs and flows, I don't know if I'm ready for a girlfriend, but I might be as well. But no, recent dates. Yeah, I went out for dinner the other night. Went and got dumplings.
You did?
It was lovely.
Was it the joint where they throw the dumplings at you?
Yeah, mate, they literally throw it at you. It
was that joint?
Oh, it was different, but they're all the same. That's the thing. You set them up, you go to the most cheap and nasty place possible and see how they react. Not only we didn't sit inside, but it was raining, so we sat outside. Half our faces getting rained on. Yep. We sat out there for an hour before we ordered anything. And then I was like, sorry, can we get some service? And they're like, oh no, just use the QR code. I didn't see it. So we were starving.
Not paying rent for sitting there.
And then, dumplings came out. I ate the dumplings, but she ate like a bird, which is fine. So she got through about 3. And that's absolutely fine. And no, it was a fantastic day. I dropped her home. And
will there be a second date?
I think so, yes.
Yes, there you go.
I think we've planned one, actually.
Ladies and gentlemen playing at home, there's a second date coming.
Potentially. There you go. But no, all fine. Well, you're the happiest you've been in a while, mate.
Can you notice that from the outside coming in?
Yeah, 100%.
What's changed? What are the
More
signs?
smiles from the
More
lad.
smiles.
Yeah, or we get a smile from the lad. More importantly.
Going from 0 to 1.
Yeah, it's good.
Huge.
It's fantastic to see.
Yeah. Anything else you can tell or?
No, I'm trying to think what other dates I've been.
No.
Like,
I mean, like in terms of the
Oh,
happiness.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just more smart, more happy, more less charging around the house with your noise cancelling headphones on. More talking
Like
to
an angry dad.
Yeah, more talking to the patrons in the house.
The participants.
To the participants in the Big Brother house.
Yeah, well, I think, yeah, definitely. And I don't want to talk too soon. I actually did chat quite a bit on Tom's podcast, and we've made quite a bit of content together already, and perhaps a bit of soft launching. I haven't done a name reveal yet. I don't think I will.
It is funny, is that as a content creator, the second you feel like you're getting somewhere with a girl or something, it's like very much, you don't want to like post about them too much, or I wonder why that is.
You would have noticed I posted pretty quickly about it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
And like nothing official yet. It's still early days, but I got a good feeling about it. It's probably the most I've gotten along with a girl ever. And yeah, again, like actually knowing that someone's there for like not clout chasing reasons, but like because they actually like you seems pretty cool. So I don't know where it'll go, but definitely feeling excited about it. And
it's good to see, mate.
We'll see.
You're flying. Just about do me, mate.
Yep. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode.
We dropped a lot in this episode.
Yep.
Maybe we'll see what happens next week.
100%.
Thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys. Bye.